sentence.
Hey everyone, welcome to the tech capital of the world. Kevin, everything is trying to stop me from releasing this course. Trees are falling down. I mean,
They
like,
are.
it's crazy.
They are. We had a tree fall down in the parking lot, which was interesting. Thankfully, it
A
didn't
big
hit
tree.
your car or any
Right,
employee's car, but it did hit someone's car.
Yeah, it's a giant tree fell down. So that's not what made us late. What made us late was just me.
We could blame the tree. I think we can blame the tree. I think that's fine.
Blame the tree. I was out in the parking lot sawing the tree up.
Somebody's out there sawing it off, though, right?
Yeah, they sawed it up now. Luckily, before we went live, you know, even with the soundproofing here in the studio, you could hear the chainsaw. So, like,
it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Right outside our back door. So, like, you know, where the tree was. So, pretty funny.
Kind of crazy.
But yeah, we're excited. Super excited about what we're getting ready to show you. I hope you like it. We've been working on this for several months now.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing. And then just to give you some background, like, we had it kind of built out, and then some other companies stole our idea. We went back to the drawing board and came up with a new idea. And then in the middle of that, OpenAI changed the API spec with functions, and so we had to go back and just redo it again. And so, like, here we are. Like, and I'm just hoping
the new idea is way better though. Nobody has an app like this.
No one does. It's really cool. I'm glad we went back to the drawing board, because the other one was kind of generic. I mean, it was kind of generic.
It worked, but it was the quickest way to get there. This one's just a better. This one's just a better product at the end of the day. Definitely.
Yeah. Now, we'll say this about it. If you're in our self-paced course right now, and we're going to show you this in a second, if you're in our self-paced course right now, I advise you to finish the MVC stuff before jumping over to the Blazor project, because there's a lot of concepts in our MVC course that you'll learn about that actually apply to a Blazor project. While this is a very new and hot framework, some of the concepts are the same. We have web API controllers, we have services, we have obviously the C# language and those kind of things. So, like, it won't feel as new if you've went through that before. Now, if you're brand new to coding and you're seeing our hot new AI project, you're like, that's the first thing I'm going to do. This may be a little bit difficult. I would put this in the medium category, but I would go through MVC first and then take our OpenAI course, and I think that'll help you a lot. But if you just want to jump in there, all the code's provided. You'll get it built out. You'll learn a lot. It's really cool. Here's what we believe firmly here at Coder Foundry is that Blazor, we've been talking about it for probably 3 or 4 years now, is at the point to where we think this is the next big thing, especially from Microsoft. And then we believe, and if you watch anything from them talking about .NET 8 that's coming out next year, this is going to be their first-class framework going forward. This is a world-class front-end framework, component-first model. Like, you're going to learn all about components, how do we build these components, and how does .NET do that? And it's, in my opinion, humble opinion here, it's vastly superior to the current front-end frameworks we have today, which I would include in that discussion Angular and React. And Blazor beats all of these guys on the front end with the component framework. But the cool part of it is ASP.NET, they've been doing server-side forever. And so this server-side framework is really fleshed out. It's really robust. It's really, really powerful. And these things have come together where they've built a full-stack framework that has a completely modular component-first front-end framework like you would see in React and Angular. I think it's a lot easier to build, a lot easier to debug, a lot easier to set up. The tooling's first rate, and now we have the back end to marry that all together. I think a lot of people are going to be adopting Blazor as well as we are. Definitely, we'll be teaching this probably in our cohort sometime next summer, either in the July or the September cohort. We're going to go switch over to Blazor full time.
Yeah, we think when .NET 8 is going to be the big thing for Microsoft.
It's the big one.
.NET 8 is going to be the big switch from MVC to Blazor.
Right, exactly. And it's in a lot of ways, it's superior to what MVC does. MVC is a really robust, really cool server-side framework, but everything's a postback. So if you want to do that kind of integrations, you've got to either put a React front end on it, or you've got to write a lot of Ajax or JavaScript. With Blazor front ends, now we've married those two things together, And when you take this course, and for the first time, when you're like, if you've done React or you've done JavaScript or any kind of Ajax programming, and I change a variable in a code block and then it just updates the HTML, you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of hot. Yeah, that's kind of cool, So
look who's here to troll you. Look, React number one. This is the guy who has the T-shirt. This is React number one on it. I guarantee he has it.
Yeah, what I would say to that, Usain Bolt used to have the 200 world record until last week.
Yeah, you can stand
Usain
for
Bolt,
a long time, right?
He's React. Blazor's coming for that lunch money. So
that's funny.
That's what we think. It's a world-class front-end framework for sure.
So let's get into demoing this app then. Let's not make people wait any longer.
Let's just demo the app. Yeah,
let's talk about the app. So what's it called? What's your idea?
So we built something called AI Chef, and so my idea was how it started out was like, hey, if I just looked at my refrigerator, could I make lunch or make dinner or make breakfast with what's in my refrigerator? And we've kind of like, that's the original idea, but now you can just put in any kind of ingredients that you want, whether you have them or not, and it'll generate recipe ideas for you. And then from there, those ideas, you pick one, and then it'll generate an actual recipe list with cooking instructions and a picture. So
because we thought about originally, we're like, give it some ingredients, and then we can have it pull a recipe back. We're like, no, that's too easy. We want it to pull back multiple recipes, and then you can choose one of them, and then you can have that be the recipe. It's just much more interesting. It's one extra layer of this.
Right. Now, one thing that I think is important, so if you're coming from JavaScript front-end frameworks and you're watching this video and you're like, okay, what's so great about Blazor? One thing I want you to pay attention to is state management. They have a really robust state management system that's also built into this. There's a robust route management system where we can route to the different views that we want. Everything's included in this, but let's just look at the app and see what it does. So we built this front-end framework, kind of front-end page. Kevin's artwork here. We had lots of discussions.
Part my artwork, part Midjourney. You gotta leverage Midjourney.
Yeah, that's your logo though. That was just pretty cool. So
yeah, the logo's cool.
We want to make this a portfolio project. So when you're thinking about portfolio projects, we've always said if you come to CoderFound, it needs to be branded, and we need to make this thing look like real. It can't be just generic chef project from AI. So anyway. But go ahead and let's pick a mealtime here, maybe. It's lunchtime.
Mealtime. We're gonna pick lunch. Let's say that we have eggs for lunch. We have rice. Let's say that. We have chicken.
Yeah, chicken, a little protein.
What else should we have here? Let's do. What could we have for lunch? Let's say bread. Let's say. Let's just say bread.
You can do bread. Yeah.
Let's just say bread. So we'll just add those 4 for now. Let's see what we get. I'm going to click generate. So what's happening now? What's this?
So now what we have is, because we're having a long-running process, an async process in OpenAI, we built a custom loader screen for you as well. This is another component that you can build. And before you click on this, just to tell you a little bit about this, components basically are marked up like HTML inside of Blazor. And I basically build this component once. And then anywhere I want that to show up, I just put in the opening and close tag, and it's called, Chef Spinner. Boom, boom, boom. And you don't have to wire it up or anything like that. Components can take parameters inside, coming in, and they also can expose parameters going out, which means it can talk to parent-children elements and child-children elements. It's really powerful. All right.
So what's happening there? The reason that we put that in there too, by the way, is because it takes a second for the API call to out to OpenAI. It's generating text, so it takes a second for it to generate that text to send it back. And you'll notice when we choose one of these here in a second, it's going to do the same thing again, because we're sending it out another call back out to OpenAI, right? To actually then pull the recipe back in. So which one shall we go for? I fancy, let's do...
What do you like?
I don't know, chicken sandwich? Chicken sandwich?
Okay, chicken sandwich.
Grilled chicken with eggs. Let's see what we get. No, let's do egg fried rice. Fancy some rice.
Egg fried rice. There you go.
Egg fried rice. Let's select that. This is, again, is sending out to OpenAI, right? So now it's, how when you're using ChatGPT, it's the same time frame it's taking to generate that text. It's generating this in the background, and then it's coming back into your app, right? Mm-hmm. This is the part that can kind of take a second, which is why having this visual spinner, letting you know that it's kind of like working on it, is important.
Yeah, it's working on it. Mm-hmm.
And there we go. So
look, it generated an image.
And Andy in chat asked this. He says, the picture of the food matches the recipe, or is it AI artwork? So yes, it matches the recipe. This is, yes.
But it is AI generated.
It is AI generated, yeah. It's using DALL-E, using this title, and it's generating a picture related to this title.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Now, what it does is, and what we couldn't predict was, sometimes it restricts to the ingredients you enter, and then sometimes it says, I see what you got there, but maybe if you add a little extra stuff, we could make something else.
Yeah, like this time
is what it did here.
Yeah,
it added a lot more things. So we have a legit recipe here and the instructions. And I can say this, we've cooked some of these in my house. You know, Kelly has took them out and printed them and made them. So it's kind of cool. So where could you go with this? You know, we also have a print version here. You can click on print, and then we have a print preview so that you can print it out and take it to the kitchen.
Actually, just one quick question here. Ryoku wants to know, is this like AI searching actual recipes, or is it generating a recipe? It is generating a recipe.
It's generating it. It's not searching from a database of known recipes, because it comes up with some weird stuff sometimes. You know, so
it does, you know, which we'll try in a second.
Yeah.
Because I like giving it weird stuff.
Weird one.
Yeah, I love giving it weird stuff. But yeah, your print option is super cool. If I click print, it will
just print it out so you can print it. You know,
which is very cool.
Yeah, cool. So you can take it to the kitchen or whatever you want. So what we want you to do with this is build this course out the way we have it built out with AI Chef. But you probably can think of once we show you how to prompt this thing inside of here, because a lot of the course is about making OpenAI do things and prompting it. Now, I want to show you what he just did there, and I'll talk about that in a second. Kevin went backwards. I want to talk to you. Notice that this is state management. So these are two different pages, and it comes back and it knows that you've entered these ingredients before. I don't have to re-enter them, you know, and so now we have brand new state management. It's very powerful inside of Blazor. A little bit more difficult to do if you've been doing React or Angular or any kind of JavaScript totally front end. You're like, oh, how do I manage state? Well, I can use local storage. I can use some other types of storage. And so we can manage state in an object, but we also can persist them to the database. We also can persist them to local storage as well. But it's fairly easy to set up. And I'll show you how to do that in the course.
Yeah, let's do let's do a different one. Let's do dinner. Okay. Somebody had put in, who put in this here? I saw Ridge Raider, I think, said, what did he give me? Give me some things somewhere.
Gave you some ingredients?
Yeah, hold on. Ridge Raider gave me peanut butter, onion, banana.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah, that's what we get. My guess is it probably won't use all of them.
Or it may and add stuff to it.
Let's see. Let's generate. Let's see what we get.
Right.
We've tried some weird stuff, and to be clear, it will often make up some weird stuff. We'll try another one in a second with mushrooms and chocolate, and it will give you a menu with items.
Okay, first one's reasonable. Second one's weird. But let's go down here and look at this.
Shall we try peanut butter onion soup though?
Let's do it. Let's do it. And, you know, let's see what it comes up with a picture. Yeah. This will prove OpenAI is sharing an image, because I don't think there's anything such peanut butter onion soup.
I hope there's not. Ridgeway said, "Oh, this is a good one. It is true. This is true. Have you ever seen any of the recipe sites online? He basically says this recipe site is missing the 30-paragraph story about what the recipe meant to the person's pet former oak therapist." It's true. It's true. You're like, I just want the recipe. Damn it. Like,
now, here's the thing, though. That is a great idea. So you're saying that's missing it. You can write additional prompts to create different types of things that you want this thing to show. And you could tell it, hey, generate a backstory for my recipe, and it will do it.
Oh, it totally will. We did try that. We did actually, now that we joke about that, we did kind of flirt with that idea of being like a thing. Do we want to add some more around this, around like a where it came from? And it's like, nah, it's kind of too much for this. But you totally could do that. You very easily could do that. Yes, this sounds disgusting. Vegetable broth, peanut butter, soy sauce, maple syrup. I mean...
So what I will say, though, Kevin, is that every time we say it's disgusting, we should probably try to make one of these just to see.
I totally disagree with that. I don't think we should make this at all.
We should try it.
No, we shouldn't try it. This is an abomination to food. I don't think we should try this. If somebody makes this, please tell us. But here's the thing, though. You would generate this, and it would generate a different version. So you couldn't generate this exact same version again. It doesn't do that. Just like anything else, it doesn't do that. Let's go back and let's add Let me clear it out again. Let's do a breakfast and let's try. What was the one thing we had before?
Let me talk through about what's happening right here with Kevin.
Yeah.
So like, what he's adding, what I want you to know, he's adding recipes and ingredients to a recipe right here. And what goes on inside of Blazor, which is very powerful, is we have one variable that is an ingredients, an array. It's an array of ingredients. And to wire that up, you basically just reference the array, and then in your code line, you can just add to it. And then Blazor automatically figures out how to add that to the UI for us. And it's really powerful. So it's actually executing a for loop based on a change that's happening to an underlying variable. And then that'll say, oh, this variable changed. Where's it being used on the page? And it automatically will update this loop in here. So there's no like reposting or anything like that going on. This is under the scenes Blazor, which is really, really powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Paul said he's going to start a cooking show based on recipes generated by your app. Hey, there might be a new podcast.
That's what we're going to do, man. New YouTube channel. Yeah, we can start doing it.
Okay. Mushroom and egg toast. Okay, sounds interesting. Chocolate French toast. Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Scrambled egg and mushroom wrap. Okay, mushroom omelet. Coffee-infused chocolate pancakes. Oh, man, we're definitely having coffee-infused chocolate pancakes.
Okay, there you go.
That sounds
well, great. We know that chocolate and coffee do go well together.
But I wonder if it's going to like slap on some kind of mushrooms in the descriptions here. That's my worry with because it does sometimes.
It'll make like a sauce on the top.
Exactly. It'll make like a chocolate dish with pancakes, and it'll be like, now puree the mushrooms and make a mushroom sauce. And you're like, no, you lost me at the mushrooms.
There you go.
Look at that. Coffee infused chocolate pancakes. That sounds legit. Any weird ingredients? No. It did not add the mushrooms in. Look, that's great.
Right, and that's what you expect it to do. And that's why we give it 5 ideas, because you may be looking for different ideas that you want to make.
And you could have it generate as many as you wanted too, couldn't you? If you coded it that
5,
way.
But you can get 10 or 20 or whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And again,
so now
print it out.
Print it out. Got a picture. You know, your pancakes may not look like that, but you know.
You never know. It does a really good job with the pictures, doesn't it? We were originally dubious about how good of a job it would do with the pictures until we started running this, and we're like, whoa, hold on a second. These are actually pretty good. It does a pretty good job most of the time.
So DALL-E does pretty good with like organic products, like product shots like this, you know, where your pancakes, your fish plate or whatever it is. Humans, not so much. So anytime you go into humans, Midjourney is obviously superior to that.
Yeah.
But like anything organic like this, or just like
these product kind of shots, it does a pretty good job. It gets good depth of field look. It's good. It's very impressive. It's good for this. So think about this. Think about is this I think this is a wow project. I really do. When we first put this together, I was like, wow, this is a great project. If somebody showed me this, I'd be like, ooh, okay. Built with Blazor, and if this generates like real time, I'd be like, wow, okay, that's impressive.
Yeah. So a couple of things that's going on here that is very important for you to understand. If you've messed with OpenAI's API at this point, up until like a month and a half ago, you had a string coming back from the AI. And so what you would have to do is take that string, and then there was all of this debate on Reddit, like, how do we turn this string into a JSON object?
Yeah.
And you had to like do extra prompting to make it sometimes return a JSON object. And you know what I'm talking about if you've tried to do this. Like, okay.
Even with a bunch of work, it got about 90% with a massive amount of work to try and do it, didn't it? A massive amount. And it was still only 90% good. It failed 10% of the time.
And maybe more. I mean, like sometimes it just wouldn't return a JSON period. And so we had a lot of retry logic built in. And then OpenAI created something called functions, which is weird that they called it that. But like functions allows you to define the object you want this to return. And once that came out and we showed you how to do this. Now, I will be a full disclosure. We give the code to this because there's some inventions that we had to come up with to make this even work, like how we package things and how we made it. And for the most part, we took the complexity out of functions to you. And this can be akin to writing a complete wrapper in C# in and around OpenAI, which is what we're doing for at least for DALL-E and the chat endpoint. So you'll have a C# wrapper. So you could get this course, look at what we did with some enhancement, with some work, build your own wrapper, push it on GitHub, and get a lot of stars from somebody. There's a lot of work inside of making this work.
Yep.
So it's
pretty
complex.
I love in chat that you guys are thinking about like additional ways to extend this too. This is great. So because we thought about 1 million, we're like, no, we've got to put a stake in it somewhere. Not
yes,
but yes.
Save the favorites. Yeah. You could put a paywall around it. You can add in a login.
Here you go. Here's another good one. Look, add a selector for sweet, spicy, sour. You could totally do that.
You just change the prompts.
Exactly. It's just changing the prompt. That's the crazy thing about this. It is just changing the prompt. Because it's all coming back from GPT, from the API. So here's another question that somebody might have too then. What does this cost to run? What is this costing us to host this? Because there is a cost associated with this, right?
There's a cost associated with it. At the height of when we were running it, and we were going a lot of back and forth, there was, and in full disclosure, I worked on this a lot. We also had the Coder Foundry staff working on this, a lot of people working on this. It wasn't that expensive. I thought, man, this thing's going to cost me $50 or $60 a month, you know?
Right.
And so let's just talk about just the OpenAI portion of it. We were running probably hundreds of recipes per day when we were looking at it. And it was into the $1 to $2 range for the OpenAI.
Right.
It wasn't that much. I thought we were going to get killed on images, but it was actually pretty inexpensive. Now, I do go through pricing in this course, and there's a lot of endpoints that are way more expensive. So this is using ChatGPT 3.5, and then if it's long, like turbo, whatever.
Turbo version, yeah.
Because that's what has the function endpoint in it. So you have to run the specific version. If you go to ChatGPT 4 and try to use this with 4, it's probably 10 times more expensive. So like
it is 10 times more expensive, yeah.
Yeah. It goes to 4 cents every time you push the button to instead of like 0.0025 or something like that.
Yeah.
So like
it's a fraction of a penny to use it the way that we've built it.
Every single call. So there's 2 calls going on here. One call to create the 5 recipe ideas, and then the actual recipe idea itself.
We'll get to this, and then one to this, and then you have the call for the additional for the image, right? So it's
right into the image. So it's 3 calls. Excuse me, yeah, 3 calls.
But the image is next to nothing too, right? It was
pretty cheap.
Fractions. It's fractions. It costs you run a bunch of these, and we're talking about pennies. So don't be afraid to like build this because there's an associated cost. You do have to start an account with them. That is one thing you have to do. You do have to have an API key. You do have to start an account. So there is that side of it. But you can set that maximum too to like. I have one that I'm using just on the side, and I've set the maximum limit to be $2 a month. I've yet to hit it in the amount that I've played with it. Yeah. It's ridiculously cheap if you use the right things. GPT 3.5 Turbo, and then the DALL-E image generation. Yeah,
and I'm not sure Functions is in 4, so like you have to pay attention to the different versions of the models they have out there. So I think Functions is only in that 3.5 version. I don't think it's in 4. It could be there now. I haven't looked in the last 60 days, but that Functions came out on the 3.5 models. So you can just verify the docs to see what you're doing. The other thing too is we're hosting this on Railway. And so Railway being a really good partner that we work with here inside the bootcamp, I think this is the first WebAssembly project they have running up on Railway. So we had to show them and talk to them about how we get that running. Or actually maybe change their build scenarios to support Blazor so you don't have to modify it.
Oh, that's cool.
But basically you have to create a container, and then we show you how to do this. We create a container, and then that's running .NET 7 in the container, and then you move the container in a certain place in the project, and it just works on Railway. Really cool.
I watched the video for this because obviously I edited them, and I was like, oh, that's easy. Because it was like, oh, we got to fix this problem.
Easy.
It's like, oh, wow, what's this going to be? It's like, oh, okay, that's easy. You just got to change where it's in the file structure where it is, and it's like, oh, okay, that's simple.
And so, like, if you're using another host, maybe you're using Heroku, you're using, obviously this will run in Azure. It's just you build a container support, and this is just a click inside of Visual Studio, create a container, and boom, it makes the file. You don't have to do anything with it, and then you just move it to a certain folder so that Railway can find it, and then it just executes and runs. And that is the power of .NET, where it is truly cross-platform, but also with containers, it'll run on any host. And so it's pretty slick. Now, if you don't have a database like this one, This will probably run anywhere that you could run any other type of project. It's not a static project, so it probably won't run on, say, something like Netlify. But if you have a host that's doing execution, server-side coding, it can run on any host that can support containers. So if you want to use Heroku, go for it. We show you how to do it with Railway, and we're partnered up with Railway. So like I think that helps a lot that they work with us to get it going.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Ben was asking, he said, what platform's cheaper than ChatGPT? Yeah, we're talking about Turbo. So if you're going to use them, the difference is if you have a paid account, you have access to both GPT-4 and GPT 3.5. GPT 3.5 Turbo, if you look at the pricing, and Bobby goes through this in the video too in the course, you can see the pricing difference is night and day. It's fractions of a penny on 3.5 Turbo. It is pennies on GPT-4, and that'll soon mount up. So
yeah. So, but I do think this is an impressive project. It does follow through with a couple of things that we like out of projects. That number one, it solves like sort of like a business problem. It's easy, recognizable. Every person you're ever going to show to knows what a recipe is, and then they've cooked food in their house, and they're like, man. And for people, think about this: for the average person that you're interviewing with, they may not be a cook. Even better. Because this thing will look like absolute magic if the only thing you can make is grilled cheese. Like, you're like, I don't know, man. I mean, I can make ice water and grilled cheese. That's what I do. But like, I see all these ingredients and these chefs come out and make stuff. This thing can look like absolute magic. And that can win someone over in an interview. When you show them magic, they're like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. Then you talk about Blazor, adding on top of that, like components, state management. How do we use the function API, which I haven't seen a course yet on this. We had to go from just the pure raw docs to figure out how to make it work. And then what happens if more than one result comes back? Functions don't work. It wants only one thing. So we had to figure that out. And we show you how to do all of that inside the course. But
it takes a lot of work, doesn't it, to make this a consistent page?
Yep. This works every single time. It comes back in a defined JSON object every single time.
Yep.
Whereas before, if you had a string, it wouldn't do that. Sometimes it would mess up. Sometimes the formatting would be off. It would forget brackets or put in quotes or not in quotes. And so you end up writing this JavaScript text parsing just to see if you can get it to work, and try to serialize it into an object's really hard.
Yeah. Or what happens in a lot of times, they just slap it on the screen as text.
Yeah, just go
format as HTML. Whatever it spits back, they just throw it on the screen. And it's like, okay.
Right. And the format changes every single time, and sometimes it's good, and most times it's bad.
Yep.
So it's pretty insane. The things that we're prompting OpenAI with are just to bring back the results. Blazor is handling the formatting, so we're not using OpenAI to format this. We're getting a consistent JSON object, and then we push that to our templates here in our front end code, which is our Blazor components are consuming that object that's coming back. And it's a very consistent, repeatable way, like you would if you're going out to a database. So if you're going to a database, you know what the objects are coming back are, the result set, the signature of that data set. We've made OpenAI do the same thing. Give me this specific thing so I can make a very repeatable front end.
Yeah, and we'll show you exactly how to do that in the course too. So you could take this and build something else with it if you wanted to in that exact same way to get that consistent thing back as well.
Oh yeah, so you can use this if you want to use OpenAI to do something else and just change up what it's doing. You probably could. This could be used to do almost anything. Like, just think of the topic, change your prompting engine out. You'll have a very robust class library that just talks to OpenAI, and then you just change the prompts and it'll bring back results. Show you how to, like, okay, your result objects are different than the ones we used in AI Chef. Well, you just change those. It's not, there's no real like hard-coded magic into this project. It can be modified to do whatever.
Yep. So availability-wise, this will be available today. It'll be available within a couple of hours after this.
Yeah, I got a couple of edits that I'm adding. I'm adding some other stuff in the coding or the libraries to give you some more support. So
yeah. So if you are an existing subscriber, either monthly, yearly, whatever it is right now, this will be added. You get this. This is part of your current subscription. This will be added later today. I'll add it to everybody's platform, and then you'll get an email notification as well that it's been added, so you'll know when it's there. Again, it should be in a couple of hours. It will be in your courses section up here, so you should be able to go to My Courses, and it will be listed here in your list of courses, as it is here on this one. It'll look like this. Yours doesn't look like this yet, but it will. And then this is what the course will look like. So I don't know how many hours it is yet, because I haven't built out the actual landing page for it yet.
Pretty long.
But there's a lot of content in here. The numbers will be disappeared by the time they're there for you guys too, but this is kind of the pre-release version.
So we built FizzBuzz to get you warmed up, and then just so you can see how the front end works and how components kind of work. So it's a little bit of Blazor training as well as OpenAI. So it's not just all OpenAI. This is really a Blazor course with OpenAI in it. Yep. And then in there, we just start going into AI Chef and laying it out. And we probably will add more courses over the year to our Blazor catalog so that we can build more complex things. So, but this one's pretty cool.
Yeah, there is quite a lot in here once you start getting into this. Just do these real quick. You know, it takes us down to sort of the 19th video where we start calling in the API stuff and then finishing it out with the image video, and then the spinner and the printing of the recipe at the end.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, we talk about, if I come down here again, we talk about publishing it. So getting it on GitHub, getting it on Railway, and then those environment variables, things like your API key, and your what's the additional thing? You got to do one additional thing to get to work on Railway, don't you?
Move around your container and stuff like that.
Yeah, getting your container, up there too. So a little section at the end about getting it published too. So you can follow this thing and get the whole thing working and have an application just like we do.
Yeah, and I think, until January, I would say that if you're interviewing right now, very few people are going to have this built out. You'll have a unique project that you have on there. Change the logo, change the background, call it whatever. I had lots of names for this, but we settled it on AI Chef.
Yeah, we settled on the one that was kind of the most obvious. If we had an actual product, maybe we wouldn't call it that, but for the purpose of a course, it says exactly what it is on the tin, right? So, okay.
So if you want to call yours Brad, go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe there's some robot name in there somewhere. Anybody have a suggestion for a robot name? What's this say here? Instructor Blazor. There's probably some very good names you could come up with for a robot chef that you could call yours. And brand it differently, and you could definitely do this. You could even when you get into this part here, we've chosen a layout for this. You could choose a totally different layout if you wanted to as well. Like, you're not set to this. Go look. We basically looked at some other cooking sites and took something that was kind of similar to a bunch of other cooking sites, but there was lots of differences in those too. We could have gone with any kind of layout here, but you can make a consistent layout, whatever you want to make. It does not have to look the same as this at all.
And that brings up a great point. What's cool about this is what you're looking at. I know it's Blazor, but at the end of the day, this is HTML and CSS that's right here. You can make this look however you want. You can put a template on it, whatever you want to do. There's no magic in how this is built out. HTML, CSS, C# with Blazor, but those Blazor front ends, the views, it's just HTML Bootstrap for us. It can be anything.
Yep. Jandre's asking if there's a way we can add pages to the top of the course instead of scrolling all the way down. Unfortunately, there's not. This is the LMS that we have. It is what it is. That we can't change the way that this part of it works. Unfortunately, it just okay, let's talk about because we're launching something new. Let's do an offer. Then.
Yeah, let's say, hey, if you haven't bought it, let's put the thing on sale.
Yeah.
See what you got here.
This is what we're going to do.
Right, so normally,
$99 would be normal, but we decided to do 3 months off, 50%. So basically, you get the same as the annual pricing. If we go and look at the annual pricing over here, your annual pricing, you pay $5.94. It basically comes out to $49.50 a month. So instead of $49.50 a month, and you have to pay it over a year, you can just get it month to month, and you can get that same price for the first 3 months, and then it reversed.
And so if you want to just come in and build the Blazor course, and you can get it for $50, and it may take you a month or two, depending on how much time you spend with us. And also you can look at some other courses I will caution you though, if it's just your first full stack project, take the MVC stuff. At least go through the .NET 6 course. It'll give you a lot more grounded framework in order to really understand a lot of the concepts that are going on inside of Blazor. We're trying to tell people about it, but we do go into more detail about some concepts in the .NET 6.
Yeah, this subscription gets you everything, gets you access to everything that's in there. So the old stuff, the new stuff. It does, so it's monthly reoccurring. So this is not, you don't pay $150 or whatever it would be and then get 3 months access. You get $49.50 from month to month. Cancel at any time, doesn't matter. You do it for 1 month, that's fine. Do it for 2, do it for 3, whatever. By your 4th month though, it does rack up. It does go up to $99. So it's only for the first 3 months. So I figured that was a pretty decent offer for putting out a new course. We always like to do something when we put out something new. So
yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, so you have access to all of the stuff that's in here, all of the courses. If I go back here, if I go to my courses, you get the Legacy.NET Bootcamp, which still has the valid HTML and CSS stuff and all that kind of stuff in there. The JavaScript stuff's still in there. The MVC stuff is still in there. You still build the bug tracker in there. Bootstrap, the interview prep course. That one isn't there yet. Netlify. The JavaScript coding challenges one. We've been pushing that one a little bit lately because we've seen a lot of people. It's funny. We've seen a lot of people getting that one palindrome exercise. So we're like, let's put out an extra video about that because it makes sense. Like we've seen that a lot. So we put that out on YouTube. So the video is actually out on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
.NET 6 MVC stuff, which is the more current MVC course, and then LinkedIn, then publishing to Railway and SQL stuff we just put out, and then now this. So yeah, putting quite a catalog here.
Yeah, that's it.
Lots and lots of good stuff. The link, yes, there will be a link. There isn't yet, so the link will be in the description of this video. But it is basically a coupon code Blazor WASM, BLAZORWASM. You can apply that coupon code right now, but the description will also be, or the link will also be in the description after the video. I just haven't put it there yet because the course isn't live yet. I want to make sure that the course is live before I put the coupon code in the description for the video. So it'll be later today. But it will be down there. Come back to this video and it will be there. If you're watching this post within a couple of hours of us going live, it should be down in the description.
Yep.
Yeah. And actually, I'll put this in chat too, just because.
The coupon code?
Yeah.
That's really all you need.
Yeah, well, there's the link. The link is active right now, but if you go buy it right now, you can buy it right now. You get access to everything else, just the other course will come online later today. That's all. So. Yeah, that's the link in chat right there. So yeah, looking forward to everybody making it. If anybody makes anything different too, I'm interested. Please send it to me. Please send us the link.
Period. Just we want to see you see what you come up with.
Yeah, definitely. If you think of another, because people are already, you're talking in chat about extra ways to do things. Yeah, I like those ideas. So Ridge Raider had another one here too. Look. Cool add-on idea. When the recipe has to cook something this certain way and the user doesn't know how to do it, like saute, the user can click on the word and get an instruction of how to do it.
Okay.
So like some kind of cooking methods. Yeah, that could be interesting.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's all. Somebody else was asking. River is also asking small letters or capital. I think it's capital letters. But the link will work either way. I don't know if it's case sensitive actually. It might not even be case sensitive. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, it's not case sensitive, so it
doesn't matter.
Both. Yeah, so that's AI Chef.
AI Chef, we're proud of it. We think it's cool. I think it's going to impress some employers and definitely impress your friends.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're like, man, I made a cooking app. They're gonna be like, what? You made a what? And they're gonna be like, what's in it? You can be like, everything's in it. What do you mean everything's in it? Give me some instructions. Give me some ingredients. What you got?
Yeah.
That's what I find interesting. Is like you can just ask somebody, give me ingredients. Be like, okay, now let me do this. Because this will run. Obviously, it's responsive too, right? So it'll run on mobile, so you can have it on your phone too. You could be like, hey, you want to do this on my phone? You do it on your phone too. That's an impressive demo.
Yeah, man.
I think it's impressive. I think it's cool.
And also, man, when that date night comes around, and you're looking to impress the lady, you're like, come on, the AI Chef, come on, give me something good here. What can I make?
Exactly. Dylan said, what does it say? How my super chat was never shown? It never came up, Dylan. I do not see a super chat in there. Yeah, it shows chat revenue is 0 and no super chat came up. So I don't know if it didn't go through or I have no idea. I hope you didn't just
put your comment on screen though. Put it on the screen.
Yeah.
There you go. Put you in lights. There you go, Dylan.
I'm not sure. So whatever your question was, I don't know. Ask it anyway if you want.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. It didn't come up. Yeah, weird. Sometimes YouTube can be weird.
Man.
YouTube can definitely be. But hopefully you didn't pay something and they just took your money. That would suck. Yeah, that would be. But it wasn't us, I promise. Let's see. N Martin also says, I'm a Learn.Code Foundry subscriber. Do I still need the coupon code? No.
Nah, if you're already on the platform, it'll show up.
It'll just show up. It'll show up this afternoon once we've put the final touches on it. We just got to add one more kind of gist to it and then go over and move the numbers and it'll be good to go. So no, it'll just show up for you. You'll get an email. I'll send an email in the platform or a notice in the platform later today, which if you've got emails triggered, it'll trigger the email and you'll get a notice just saying, hey, it's a new course or whatever I decide to take. Yeah.
They said, did we try taco and cookies? Let's do it.
We didn't. Let's go do it in a second. Paul said, add a chatbot that keeps you occupied while cooking. Then it will help with my single situation. Oh, you need to try some of this stuff. Get, get somebody over, be like, hey, I'm going to cook you something. Oh, yeah, I'm going to use an AI. Yeah, only if they're geeky. If she's geeky, she's going to be like, wow, that's cool. If she's not geeky, you're going to be in trouble.
Cool.
Be like, I went to this dude's house and he used an AI to like make it. That's weird.
Just tell him Gordon Ramsay. Like I got him on my phone here, Gordon. Hey, Gordon. What's up?
Gordon. Yeah. You could call your AI Gordon even. Okay, what are we making?
He could yell at you. He could yell at you.
Taco and cookies. What are we doing? Lunch. Let's do lunch. Is a taco a thing though? What?
No, just
Let's do a taco shell, right? Because that's
corn tortilla.
A taco shell. Let's just do
corn tortillas, man.
You want a cookies, so let's add cookies. I don't know what this is gonna make. Let's add some what else shall we add? Some beans. This is gonna be disgusting, isn't it?
And then
beef. Okay.
And then put I always do one thing I do is I do spices and seasonings as separate things. And
I think it adds those in anyway, though. I've noticed it kind of like will generally
and
just
then
kind
I could
of
do
like
seasonings too,
But that's, I don't know. For me, that's kind of generic because it's like, what seasonings do you have? Like, I don't know.
It just makes them. It comes up with them. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I noticed it does it sometimes even without putting them in. It's weird. Like because that's the AI, right? We talked about this plenty of times, but the AI is a black box. It's not combined the cook. We gave it too many things.
Cookie crusted beef, though.
Oh, it did. Okay, cookie crusted beef. Let's go for that. Let's try some cookie crusted beef. Kind of interesting.
I mean, cookie crust is good on anything.
This is pretty funny and probably true. And then we used AI to look for food poisoning. Oh, that's great. Wow. Cookie crusted beef is a unique and delicious way to prepare beef tenderloin. A combination of crushed chocolate cookies, mustard, and honey creates a flavorful and slightly sweet crust. Roasted to perfection, the beef is tender and juicy, making it the perfect main dish for any special occasion.
There you go, man.
Okay, I'm not sure I'd go for this, but
that's date night right there. That's got date night written all over it, man. Like that's gonna win him over right there. Cookie crusted beef.
You think?
You it's dessert and main course all wrapped together. How can you lose? I mean, like
I'm not so sure.
Cookies and mustard and honey. Come on, man. I mean, that's kind of good.
Sure. I'm not convinced. I am not convinced that half of these things are like actually cookable. I think some. I like the picture. The picture's cool. The picture's interesting. But yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I want everybody to go make AI Chef. You can start this afternoon. So yeah, it's a cool app. It's definitely a cool app. When we kind of Bobby and I had thrown these ideas around and we're like, yeah, let's do a cooking app, and then we kind of thought through it a little bit more and like, yeah, let's make it a little bit more than just this one thing. We had initial doubts about whether the image part would work, and the bringing back multiple recipes part was kind of a little bit of an extension for it, and then you coded it up and it's like, yeah, this is, and you showed it to me and I was like, wow, this is Cool. Like, yeah. Let's do this. This is slick.
I mean, if you put good recipe, good ingredients in there, it actually generates really good recipes. I mean, like it's pretty slick. I mean, like it will generate great stuff. You add crazy things, then
What does it do if you put in non-ingredients? Have we even tried this? Like, Paul suggests fake items, like you find.
So I've put smelly socks, old shoes, socks, shoes, and then add in some real ingredients. So on top of that,
rice,
and they'll ignore them.
Oh, what if I just do sock shoes and rice?
Okay.
Like, is it gonna do me shoe rice?
Typically, what it does is it ignores them. One thing that we thought about as enhancement,
it does look.
It just ignores them. Yeah. And so that was an odd thing that happened from the AI that I didn't expect. I thought I was going to have to take the list and pass that to the prompt and say only return things that are actual food ingredients.
Right, and like whitelist stuff, right?
Whitelist it and make another call. But then when I did it, it's like, oh, it knows that that's not an ingredient. And so it just doesn't do it. It doesn't use them typically. So there's no shoes or socks.
It did not put shoes or socks. But if I just give it shoes and socks, though, what does it do then? Does it still ignores it?
We'll see.
I'm guessing it will. It'll just come up with. Oh, yeah.
It'll make something. We'll see what it does. I don't know. I mean, it's AI, so sometimes
this is the black box part of it. This is look, it did. It did something.
Let's which one do you want to try?
Shoe crusted socks. This is great. Okay, so you don't give any
didn't work there because you only gave it two things and it didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't have a real ingredient, so it didn't know what to do at all.
So one enhancement you can make is you could pass your list. Yeah,
this is amazing. Man. 1 pair of socks, 2 shoes. This is epic. I actually like this a lot. I think this is really good. Take 1 sock and stuff it in 1 shoe. Repeat the process with the other sock and shoe. Wear the shoes with the socks inside. Walk around for a while to crush them. Oh no! Remove the socks from the shoes and show your shoe-crusted socks. Oh my! This is epic. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So one thing you could do if you were selling this, what I would do is I would take the list that was entered in by the user. I would pass it to AI and say only return ingredients. And then if I had a no ingredient list, then I would change my prompt to say suggest some ingredients for me. I don't know what I want. I just want breakfast.
Yes, exactly.
So just generate breakfast with no ingredients, and it would come up with breakfast.
Yeah, you could default it back to be just lunch, right? You could say, well, none of these things are actual items, so just default to lunch and give me whatever for lunch. Paul says he's totally making that tonight. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's not a date night meal, Paul. Don't
crusted socks.
That's not going to go well. That is not going to go.
It didn't say how long you had to wear them though in the shoes.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it's not detailed enough, is it?
It's not.
But yeah, Neil, this new generative AI stuff is amazing. Yeah. So and that's the thing too. Like you're using something. Not only is it like cutting edge with Blazor, but it's also cutting edge in terms of AI. If you can go to a job interview and you say, "Yeah, I've made an AI app," like that's wowing. Because trust me, most of the people there haven't made an AI app yet. The person interviewing you probably hasn't made an AI app yet. They may have messed with ChatGPT, but they haven't like integrated the API into something yet. So you're going to be showing them something they haven't seen yet.
This was released in November of last year. So we're like in 8 months into this. And so next year will be the 1-year anniversary of this release of ChatGPT, which is kind of crazy. It seems like it's been here for 20 years. But this is brand stinking new. Companies are still trying to figure out like, how do I do this? What do I use it for? What are my use cases? And so when you show them something like this, they may suddenly realize, oh, I have a use case. What if I wanted to do A, B, and C? And then you could talk about it and say, here's what I would do. I'd change the prompt here, and this is what I would do. Same thing. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the moment you could, go ahead.
Yeah, Paul's asking, I wonder if you write an additional prompt to ask the AI if the generated recipe is real. Yeah, that's another thing you could do too.
Another thing you could do. Yeah.
Although you and I both know, Paul, it's going to say it's real even if it's not. So
sure,
because again, it's black box, right? You don't quite know what you're going to get from it.
Yeah. Now, what we do to try to remove that is it has to come back in a common theme. And notice that the shoe sock one came back as a recipe, which I can tell you that would have generated an error before functions came out. So like it forced the results into a common format and object that we could display. So even though it's not a recipe per se, it was just like, how do I crust my shocks? And it gave you
right. Yeah. Yeah, you know? Definitely. Yeah, it's cool stuff. Cool stuff. Yeah, I think it's a wow project. So yeah, look for it later today. Look out for the email if you're already on the course. If you're not on the course, again, you can use the offer. The description will be in the link down below. You can get it for 50% off for 3 months. It's $49.50 a month for 3 months. That is right here. It is coupon code BlazorWASM. I'll put that in chat again to you. Just the coupon code. You can go.
Yeah, and so man, if you make this project, we would like you to see is go ahead and make a recipe out of it, cook it, and tag us up on social media and give us a
That'd be
picture
amazing.
Of your food and tell us it was good or not. You could like have a dinner party and go, what are we cooking for dinner? And you're like, okay,
let's ask
AI chef right now, and then y'all go and have a fun time cooking the AI recipe as a group and say whatever it brings back we have to pick, and do something like that. You can have a fun time.
You did have Kelly cook some of these things, didn't you?
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
To kind of prove that it's a thing, at least on some things that weren't weird.
We made a Thai soup with it. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, she used it, and then she added in some stuff that she knew was in Thai soup, with some ingredients, and it came back with an ingredient plus some other things. It was kind of good.
Yeah.
So it does work.
Yeah. Cool.
There's definitely recipe databases that this thing has consumed, that it knows what a recipe is. It knows I think it knows things that like acid and heat and ice. And
it knows
those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, it's consumed a bunch of recipes from the internet, right? So it kind of knows recipes already. Even though it is AI generated, it does have a catalog of recipes that it knows works.
Yeah. So and that's why I was saying that, sometimes when you get a weird one out there, like we saw one that said cookie encrusted and used mustard, honey, and whatever, and you're thinking that's weird. But if you watch enough cooking shows, there are people that bring in flavors and you're like, why does that work?
Yeah.
There's some science behind cooking and chefing.
There is, but I also agree with this mentality. Since you give a thumbs up for your hospital bed. See, I'm with you a little bit on that N17 Hero too. Like, I'm not putting mushrooms in my chocolate, man. It's not happening.
Oh no, man.
It's not happening. So yes, give us a couple of hours. It will be there for everybody. Again, you'll get a notification if you're already in the course. If you just bought it too, it'll be there this afternoon. All the content will be there. It's in one big dump, so it'll all be there in one release once it goes out there. So yeah, you'll see it. I want to see some people build it. It'll be fun.
Man. It shows your best recipes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's get out of here so we can finish this up. We're gonna grab tacos first, and we're gonna finish it up.
Yeah, we gotta go tacos. All right. Keep coding, guys. See you later.
Catch you later.